Hello guys, back with another one. I hope you guys had an exciting week and a lot of injuries, a lot of bye weeks coming up. So, trying to get you guys prepared for the weeks ahead, and at least for this next week, try to fight your way into the playoffs. So today's episode, I'm just gonna do a waiver wire pickups, and I'm gonna do some cut candidates. So I'm gonna kind of breeze through this real quick, and then later in the week, I'll do starts and sits and all that stuff too as well. So let's get started. Okay, so first, I got Russell Wilson versus the Green Bay Packers. I know Wilson hasn't had the best year, but, the Packers, Jordan Love likes to throw interceptions sometimes. He's still trying to get his rhythm going. So I can see Wilson being in some goal line opportunities, getting a little cheap touchdowns too as well. That's definitely a guy that I would look to be picking up if he's on your waiver wire. Another guy I'm going to say is who's been playing pretty well. The quarterbacks over here are not always that great, but Sam Howell of the Washington Commanders is going against the New York Giants, who have one of the worst defenses in the league. Can't stop nobody, so I would definitely try to stream him if you need him this week. Another guy, obviously, is Jordan Love, first year, taking over for Brett Favre. Aaron Rodgers, he has had some good games. He has some good weapons on his team. I think that he could have a good game this week. So he's a guy that I would look to pick up and kind of start. He's a guy that I have in my league that I had no choice but to play because Anthony Richardson's hurt, and I traded Justin Fields 2 weeks ago. Okay, so I'm going to go into some running backs right now to pick up. I think right now Zach Evans of the Rams is playing the Pittsburgh Steelers. We don't know what the situation is over there. We know that Kyron Williams is probably going to be out this week. So I would definitely look to pick him up because I think he's going to be the guy that's leading it. But, could be like DiMancato, and he can be getting 2 carries for 11 yards. But my number one waiver pickup this week is, if he's still out there, like a guy that said I was holding on all year long, is Roschon Johnson. I think he's better than Devonta Foreman. However you say his name. Roschon Johnson, I said, is always a 3-down back. I think he's going to be really good. And with Fields out, they might rely on the run game just a little bit more with an inexperienced quarterback playing for them this week. So, guy that I want, and I'd try to trade for as well. So we got to talk about some trades eventually, but right now we're just going to stick to this waiver. I'll do some trades on maybe Wednesday. Okay, so another guy that I would be picking up, we don't know what to expect from him. He just signed with the team not too long ago. Kareem Hunt is going against the Indianapolis Colts. They got Gardner Minshew playing quarterback for them, which means that there's a possibility the Browns can be up and they could be running the ball. He could be splitting carries with Jerome Ford. So I think that Kareem Hunt is not a bad option this week if you need a running back with all the buys going on. Another guy, I don't like his matchup, is Craig Reynolds going against the Baltimore Ravens, who have a top run defense or a top defense overall. So I don't feel too excited. We don't know what's going on with Montgomery. We don't know if Gibbs is coming back. I think that it's going to be Gibbs starting, and it's going to be Montgomery's going to probably be out 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So Craig Reynolds is a good guy for your bye week flex RB2-ish. Probably not, but we'll see. Another guy is Keontae Ingram going against the Seahawks. I don't like him. I don't like the matchup. I think the Seahawks are going to crush the Arizona Cardinals. But we know Connor's out. I think that DiMancato they don't trust him. They think he's too small, I guess. So I would definitely say Ingram is a good 10-point guy, maybe. Another guy this guy's a stash guy, is Zach Charbonnet. He's going up against the Arizona Cardinals that really can't do much. I mean, Dobbs has had an okay year with them, but, we got Kyler Murray coming back soon too as well. So I would think Charbonnet, if something happens to Kenneth Walker, he's going to be a top 20 running back for sure. Another guy is going to be, I'm not too crazy about this one, but Jordan Mason and Elijah Mitchell. They both would probably get some carries if, Christian McCaffrey is out. Not too excited about them, but you can play them if you need to. I'm going to go on to the wide receivers real quick. Deontay Johnson is coming back for the Steelers. He's been very, very good as a PPR guy. George Pickens has stepped up. Kenny Pickett will get the ball to him. So I like him. I don't know how much they're going to use him this week. But if he's on your waiver wire, he's like a must-add for me. And he's going against the Rams, who don't have Ramsey anymore. So I know it's a long time ago, but whatever. So another guy I'm going to say is Curtis Samuel. I thought about picking him up last week. He played a good game. He's had 18 points. Last week he had 4 catches, 42 yards, touchdown. So like 14 points. You know, and he's going against the Giants is all I really need to say. And Sam Howell gives him the ball. So he's a good flex play for me in the bye week. Another guy is, he plays with one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, Patty Mahomes. So if it's not about, Taylor Swift and Kelsey, it's going to be more about Mahomes and Rashee Rice, who is not Jerry Rice, but Rashee Rice sounds like an interesting prospect, and I think that they use him in the red zone a lot. So he's a guy that I would be looking to snatch up off of waivers. He's playing against the Chargers too, which is going to be a shootout, we think. Josh Downs is one of my guys. I picked him up. I threw him in over Devonta Smith last week. Got me 13 points. Got me the win. So I'm very happy about that. He's going against the Browns this week, so I would just pick him up, put him on my bench for a week, let him settle in, let him marinate, and then put him in next week. Another guy, let's see. JSN is an interesting guy for fantasy. Maybe, he can have his coming out party, but too many receivers on that team. You need to hope for an injury to Metcalf, Lockett. So I'd say pick him up, stash him, hold on to him. Hopefully it pays off in like a week or two or somewhere down towards the playoffs. And now the tight ends, we're going to say Logan Thomas had 1 point last game. He is a solid tight end, so that's a guy that I would still target because a lot of people are going to not want to pick him up. They're like, oh, well, he didn't do anything. Well, that's because some of these other receivers were doing well, and I think Howell's going to get him the ball. So Logan Thomas does have enough from the tight end position. So definitely a guy that I would consider. And he's going against the Giants. Everybody who plays against the Giants, pick him up, play him, you good to go. Jonas Smith is still playing good with Kyle Pitts and Drake London getting the ball, and Bijan's not really doing too well, but Jonas Smith is still catching the passes from Ritter. So I think that he's good enough to get you a solid 8 points. This week, I think that Gerald Everett is going to catch some big passes. He's playing the Kansas City Chiefs. Herbert's going to have to throw. He's going to use him. He's going to be across the middle of the field. There's going to be some corners on the wide receivers. So I think that he has a relatively decent fantasy floor and maybe a little bit more than that. This guy, too, I think is a sleeper. Michael Mayer. Obviously, they took him in the second round. He had talent coming out of college, going against the Chicago Bears, who aren't the best defensive team. I think they're playing for Caleb Williams, which might not even play there. But, I've read that Justin Fields maybe to the Falcons. It's all rumors, but anyway, that's not the point. The point is Mayer is going to be a good guy going forward, and I would pick him up, and put him on my bench unless I have one of my tight ends that aren't playing that I'd put him in. Kickers, I don't really mess with kickers. I think Packers kicker could be good this week, but I'm not really going to talk about them. The defenses, the Seahawks versus Arizona I like this week. The Browns versus the Colts I like this week. Commanders versus the New York Small Giants. And the Bucks versus Atlanta, as well as the Rams versus Pittsburgh. Those are my waiver wire pickups of this week. Now we're going to go to some cut candidates. So I'm going to make this real quick for you guys. Just guys that you don't need to be holding on to anymore. Guys that are just holding up your roster spots for more up-and-coming talent. And you're just hoping that, oh, yeah, maybe this guy gets hurt. Or maybe this guy plays. Or, maybe he's got an attractive name. And they're like, oh, yeah, but he's Odell Beckham. Well, Beckham hasn't been there, and Zay Flowers is a beast. So here we go. My cut candidate, quarterback, Josh Dobbs against the Seahawks. Don't like the matchup. Kyler Murray might be coming back. Who knows? I would get rid of him. especially if I need a quarterback right now in a bye week. Kenny Pickett is not an elite quarterback. He's got some receivers on his team. He's going against the Rams. I still don't like it. I still think that he's going to get sacked a bunch of times this game. I would let him go. Let someone else pick him up. Desmond Ridder, we know he's up and down, up and down. We don't know what he's doing from week to week. He's about to be benched soon, I think. So what I would do is I would get rid of him before, he gets pulled out and he gets you 2 points in your starting lineup. Plus, he's going against Tampa Bay, who has a really good defense. So I would not look forward to playing him this week. Najee Harris, I don't know what happened to Najee. I mean, he was good. I wanted the Jets to draft him, and all of a sudden the guy gained some weight and he can't run anymore. Jalen Waddle. Warren is starting to, cut into his carries. I traded Zach Moss earlier in the season for him. Bad move, but it is what it is. But yeah, I would get rid of Najee Harris, especially against the Rams. I don't want nothing to do with their D-line. So another guy too, everybody was big on, Jaleel McLaughlin. I don't know what's going on with that team. He is an exciting player if they give him the burn. The problem is, it's still Williams' backfield for right now, and we never know who they're going to play, so I would just cut him because I don't think he's going to help you in the long run. Another guy is Devonta Foreman. Once Roschon Johnson comes back, I think that he's going to be a zero. He's going to not get you any points. They'll probably inactivate him again, especially when Herbert comes back. So I would look for someone else that can help me right now rather than see if he's going to help you in the near future, which maybe never. Cam Akers, people hold on to Cam Akers. I don't know why, because nobody actually likes him as a running back, I guess. He goes on teams that need help, and they don't play him. So I'd rather not have him on my roster. And plus, they're going against the 49ers. Josh Kelly versus the Kansas City Chiefs. With Austin Eckler back, I think that he's a clear-cut drop for me. Matt Breida, with Barkley back and healthy, I think that Breida just, falls off the map, or I think off the grid. So I would not like to hold one of my spots when I can pick something up that's more value to me. Dalvin Cook, he's on a bye week, he should be cut a long time ago. Trey Burks is a guy that is on a run-first team. It's not healthy. And they got Hopkins. Jaden Reed against the Denver Broncos. Too many guys that love goes to. He's not the top. He's going to have some okay games, but I would still try to get rid of him. Everybody's expecting Quentin Johnson to break out, and I would love to see that, but it just doesn't look like it's happening. They still have other receivers playing over him. He had a play down the field last week, but he got missed. Or Herbert didn't see him and he had to throw it before he got sacked. So I don't know if Johnson really knows the playbook and all that stuff as well right now. I don't think that the Chargers are trusting him right now. My next guy is Marvin Mims, who has a lot of talent. Wilson could get him the ball, but they're just not using him. Maybe it's the drops, maybe it's the fumbles, the kick returns, and him not being up to par. So I think maybe he's more of a dynasty player. Who's another guy here? Tutu Atwell, obviously with cutback and Nakua. We don't really need Atwell no more. Going against Pittsburgh. Jahan Dotson had a very good rookie season, but he hasn't really been living up to it this season. He's going against the Giants, which is a hit or miss, but I wouldn't trust to put him in my lineup over some of these other guys. Odell Beckham, he's not the elite guy that he was before, so I would cut him, especially against Detroit. They're going to be passing, but I don't think they're going to use him as much. They're going to probably use Andrews and Zay Flowers. Juju Smith, he should be cut going against Buffalo. Zach Ertz, I think Trey McBride is starting to step up. That he's a guy that I would get rid of. Dalton Kincaid, he has potential. He's going against the Patriots. He's dealing with an injury, so I would look for another tight end, like if you can get like a Mike Mayer or something like that. Hunter Henry against Buffalo, I don't like. Dawson Knox versus New England, I don't like. And then the Dolphins, you can cut them after their last 2 weeks that they had some good matchups. They're playing Philadelphia, who just signed Julio Jones, and we don't know exactly what's going to happen with that. But I I just don't trust Philly. Philly has a good team. I think that they can win a Super Bowl with their current team. So I'd rather not have the Dolphins defense. Another defense that's been playing very good, the Chiefs versus the Chargers. And the Steelers versus the Rams. Those two defenses I would cut. And that's it for me. So thank you guys for listening. Tune in next time, and I'll try to help you as I can. Good luck with your waivers, guys. Peace.